It's time for the keys to life. When I say keys to life, you say. When I say keys to life, you say. When I say keys to life, you say. There we are. There we are. There we are. Today is August the 6th, 2023. First point is little gathers much in both ways. Little gathers much in both ways. Everybody knows that, but I don't think we often think about it. Little gathers much. So if I put $5 away, and I put $5 away, and I put $5 away, at some point, it's going to reach $100. Nobody really wants to do that because it takes a long time in their mind that $5 would equal $100. So I put $20 away, and after 5 weeks, I get it. So it works the same way no matter what you do, just depends on the increments that you put together to equal what you're trying to get. But I want you to think about that in every single way, because a lot of times we don't. And so I brought with me a couple of things that might be a little bit more visual for you. So this is probably about half a week of what came in to my house. And so if I went to Amazon and I was like, you know what, I need this. And then I was like, oop, gotta get this. And this I ordered probably like 4 weeks ago, came from another country. And then I ordered something else, and I think that was an emergency. And then I needed something to put on my feet at a time, and then I ordered that. And then the next thing I know, I needed to order something else. Now, I'm not sure, because I didn't do the math, but I'm pretty sure that went over $100. I'm sure that went over probably $150 or whatever. But my point to you is it can work every single way. You thought you only spent $8 because you did. It was $8. I got Amazon Prime. You got Amazon Prime. We probably all got Amazon Prime. But then this was 40 or 50, 56, and then this was 17. This was probably about 20. And then this was probably about 25. And the next thing I know, this was probably 40. And then all of a sudden, I looked at my bank account and I was like, well, you look at that. That's crazy. How did that happen? How did that happen? Because little gathers much both ways. Just both ways. It doesn't matter. It really, honestly, is just the fact that I don't go to Walmart or any other store. I just order it. But no matter what you look at, no matter how you perceive it, no matter what you do, if you're going to spend, you have to pay attention to what you're spending. And on the other side of that, if you're going to save, you got to pay attention to what you're saving. Everything has to do with what you managed and how you manage it. And so little gathers much in both ways. The question is, how are you gathering? And how do you manage what you gather? And when you looked at what you wanted and you looked at what you have, can you afford to do what you want versus what you have? And do you have to do what you have to do? Or do you want to do what you have to do? Or what you want to do? So it's all those little different things you have to look at and ask yourself. Because it'll leave your account just as quickly as you pulling it and putting it in your savings. It'll leave your account as quickly as you deciding to put it in an investment. It'll leave your account. It doesn't take a minute to switch or to make the swipe or the press or the push or I want it, boom. Even if you're sitting there and you're paying attention, you think, okay, I got that. But, on a Cash App, people send you a request and you be like, okay, approved. You can even send that off. It doesn't matter what it is. You have to monitor, you have to manage, and you have to understand that the reason you're a little confused as to why your bank account might look the way it looks or why your pockets went from this to this is because little gathers much in both directions. And so the more you make, doesn't always make a difference depending on how you spend what you spend. Because rich people are broke and broke people are broke. if you're still living, you can be a millionaire and live paycheck to paycheck. You can be a doctor and live paycheck to paycheck. You can be a janitor and live paycheck to paycheck. The question is how you do what you do. And so understand that little gathers much in both directions. All right, number 2. Work what you do every day. Work what you do every day. You probably heard me say this, but I'm going to say it in a different way, or at least I believe I'm going to say it in a different way. Don't look at how other people do what you do. Because we all sometimes do the same thing. That's like if James goes to church and they got 4 different keyboards, and one's on a Hammond, and the other one's on the keyboard, the other one's on the piano, the other one's on a little synthesizer or whatever. And they have you there for a reason. You just make sure you do what you do well. I did what I did at the Performing Arts School differently than everybody else did it. They accepted me for me. When I bodyguarded and I did what I did, I was who I was for that specific person. They liked me because they liked me. They wanted me because they wanted me. I am who. There's tons of bodyguards out there. Whatever it is that you do it like nobody else does it. So don't worry about whether someone made the same meal that you made, or made the same thing that you did, or said the same thing. You smile differently than somebody else smiles. You're more encouraging than somebody. Know what you do. Know how you do what you do. Know why people like you for who you are, and increase on that. Stop looking at what other people are doing and focus on how to make what you do better. Because there's only one you. Stop. Don't question what other people do. Don't question who other people are. Don't question how other people do what they do. Question, how can I increase me? How can I make me better? How can I do what I was here for a reason? That's like you thought you was in a relationship, or you almost losing a relationship, you're not sure. You was in that relationship for a reason. So therefore, figure out what that reason is if you don't want to lose the relationship. You was at that job for a reason. They picked you for a reason. Figure out why they picked you and increase on that job. You do what you do, and you do it to a certain point of being average or even above average. How do you increase that? How do I become better than what I was? I can't worry about what I can't worry about. I can't worry about what I don't do. I have to worry about what I need to do. How do I increase? How do I get to the next level? Keep working all the time on being the best you. Just the best you. Don't be the best Maurice, the best John, the best Cindy. No, you. Understand that he thinks of you, that God loves you. You're here for a reason. You are special. You may not always feel special, but feelings change all the time. God never changes. So he chose you for a reason. He thinks of you for a reason. So when you look in the mirror and you don't really like what you see, understand this, that the creator of the world likes what he sees. And he just wants you to work on it and work on it, and sooner or later you will start to like what you see. Fix something, move something, work something, and you will start to improve and like who you are. But you never doubt who you are and whose you are. Work daily, over and over, and know that you have a reason to be here. He did not keep you the years that he's kept you for nothing. He doesn't have you here listening right now for and nothing. There's a purpose in this. But if you don't work the purpose, if you don't work the word, if you don't work what I'm saying, then you have lost and wasted your own time. I never understood why people came to church and then left the same way. But if you don't, oh, good message. What did you do with the message? Why waste your time? It's like turning a game on, don't know what the game is about, didn't see it, you was doing something else. Turn it off. Who won? I don't know. Was you watching it? It was on? All right. So what I'm putting to you is purpose. Understanding your purpose, understanding you have work to do, and understanding if you're going to be good at what you do, you can't focus on nobody else, but how to be better at who you are. Number 3. There's always a cost. There is always a cost. The question is, are you willing to pay it? The question is always going to be, is it going to be, are you willing to pay it, or can I afford to pay it? Are you willing to pay it? Can I afford to pay it? Last night, we were here, everybody was having a good time, and the question to me was, can I afford it? Or am I willing to pay it? And I wasn't. So I was like, you know what? Let me say my goodbyes. And I because I couldn't afford it. Everybody ate one thing, I ate something else. Question was, can I afford it? Or can I afford to pay it? I wasn't afford to pay for it this morning. I wasn't afford to pay for it later on. I wasn't afford to pay. No. I gotta eat what I gotta eat, because this stomach do what it want to do, when it want to do it, how it want to do it. You understand what I'm saying? See, you thought it's just not just money. You have to ask yourself all the time. If you had a bet, you went to Burger King. I'm not coming at Burger King, but let's say you went to Burger King and you got double Whopper or something crazy, Angus. You know they got all those things, and you ate it, and then next thing you know, you was driving and you was like. Now you flooring it. You going. You turn the door. You unlock the door. You run up the steps. You shoot down. You going to Burger King again? Some of y'all. Because it was good going down. It was good going down. It just wasn't good later. And that's what I'm trying to get you to understand in your head. Can you afford it, or are you willing to pay for it? Because some of us can afford, you can afford to do that if you're willing to what? Pay for it. But if you're not willing to pay for it, then I'd assume that you should probably not do it. And so when it comes to the things that we buy, and it comes to the even in relationships, you know you want to say that. But can you, in this point of the relationship, where it is, as fragile as it is, can you afford to say it? No. Then shut up. You understand? Just stop. No. You can't afford it. But if you're willing to pay for it, because you're like, I don't care, you can go. Then you're willing to pay for it. Then say what you want to say. But understand, everything comes at a cost. And so I want you to understand that it's not just the things that you buy, but sometimes it's the things that you say. You a kid, and you start talking under your breath. The question is, can you afford it? Because not every parent is the same, you know? Some parents will be like, say it again. Say it again. I wish you, and then just go ahead. Say, you know, whisper. Don't even breathe right now. You know what I'm saying? That's me. You know, I'm like, I wish you would. You got a little bit. I got 1, then I'm at 3, then I'm at 5, and then all of a sudden I'm at 11. I forgot 10, and all of a sudden now you're trying to figure out what happened. Because 1 was on Monday, 3 was on Wednesday. You didn't realize that I collected that stuff. You thought it was a new day. No, not at all. I told you once. You understand? So you got to ask yourself, what am I dealing with financially? Who am I dealing with in a relationship? What am I dealing with when I say what I say, when I do what I do? Because these things, can you afford it? Or are you willing to what? Pay for it. Because if you have a test coming up and you don't study, then you're willing to pay for whatever comes on that Friday. If somebody say, please don't do that, please don't, I don't want to go there. Now, if you keep going there, you're willing to pay for what comes after that. Now, I don't understand why people love to push on people that ask you not to do stuff, but they love, oh, you, what? What? But that's what, see, you got to ask yourself, and this is all management. You got to figure out if that's what you're willing, is that the trip you want to go on? Is that, your boss say, you can't have that, you can't wear that, you decide, what you used to say yourself? You were a rebel. She was a rebel. 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 She's a rebel. And I would just say, what? Write her up. Right? You know, but you understand, people do, and if that's what you get, then that's what you, don't look at, here's my point at the end, don't look at God and ask why. Don't look at God and ask why. Because you bit off of it. You took it, you ate it, that was you wanted, and now what you get is what you get. If you sitting on the toilet for 2 hours, that's you. If you alone, you ain't got no relationship no more, that's you. Because you was like, I'm fitting to do what I'm fitting to do. You had the cape on that day, and the cape had holes in it, you didn't know. All right, and those are the keys that I...